Hey guys, Jsnow with the Star Wars The Old Republic MMO release on Steam. So a lot of players probably forgot about this game or maybe never heard about this game, but now that it's on Steam, it's widely known to the public now. So in this video, we're going to go over the pros and cons of the game, and then you can decide for yourself if you enjoy it. Right now, I'm enjoying it a lot and I'll probably end up subscribing eventually because, unfortunately, the free-to-play system is probably one of the worst for MMOs, but we'll get to that in the con section. So first things first, let's go on to how the major selling point of the game, which is the story mode. Now, unlike a lot of MMOs out there, this one is mostly praised for its story because the creators BioWare, BioWare also did the story for Mass Effect. So this is considered, I don't follow BioWare, but this is also considered the best storytelling, one of the best storytelling games by BioWare. So if you're really into story games, you'll probably end up enjoying it, of course, if you're into Star Wars. And almost every single quest is pretty much fully voice acted, and the voice actors aren't too bad. And a lot of these decisions will also be used for your companions that you get in games. So decisions barely do count, and a lot of scenes are actually kind of thought-provoking because it really affects your gameplay as far as the story goes. So it's pretty awesome to have some choices that actually matter, unlike in games, MMOs like World of Warcraft, where it doesn't really matter what you do or what choice you pick. As far as the story goes, it's pretty much set in stone. So that's a pretty awesome selling point of this game. And you can play the full class story for free. Now, combat. Of course, combat is very important in MMOs, and since this is one of the Star Wars, being able to use lightsabers is, of course, a ton of fun. And you can also use blasters as a bounty hunter class and Sith lightning, Sith Inquisitor class. I think that's what it's called. I don't remember exactly. It's been a while. But there's a bunch of classes you can play with. But the combat is a little strange, and this is one of the cons of it. Is it can either be too easy or really annoying. So the combat system they use here is the classic, World of Warcraft tank healer DPS. But when you're out in the world not doing group quests, you get a companion. So the companion, while it does affect the story, is also basically the guy who's doing all the work for you. So right there was an example of using the companion as a tank. So as you can see, I didn't really take much damage. It was pretty easy to take down all the robots and Jawas. So right here we switched to DPS companion, and then you'll see me take a ton of damage. So if you're not really optimizing the gear, you will probably end up dying a lot, and pulling 2 packs at once while not having a tank companion will probably get you killed. So combat is really strange on the difficulty. A lot of people say it's way too easy. I find it kind of way harder than... I die a lot more than I do in World of Warcraft, that's for sure, and I cannot pull more than 2 packs. I mean, pulling 2 packs is a death sentence. Now, I guess the easy mode way is basically setting your companion the healer, and then just basically go all out on as many mobs as you want, as you can take. Because with healing, depending on what you're fighting, it's pretty easy to stay alive. As you can see right here, we just switched to the healer spec. So while I'm killing these Jawas, I'm getting pretty much healed to full, even taking on an elite enemy, which is the gold star robot that's shooting at me. There's also 3 types of enemies. The silver, I'll just call them stars for now. The silver stars are kind of like regular enemies. They can probably kill you. Weak enemies are the ones without anything next to their name. You can kill them in a few hits. And then the stars are basically the elites, the gold stars, where, they will be able to kill you pretty easily if you're not paying attention. So, the other thing that I think is con is the, the 3-pack mob system. So for some reason, this game has every mob pack, except for very few of them, come in packs of 3. Usually a silver star enemy and then 2 or 3 weak ones. So for some reason, it's always packs of 3, and it always throws me off. Also, hit detection and when enemies die seems to lag a bit. So when you kill an enemy, you'll get this weird lag that happens where your attack still goes through, but the enemy's technically dead. So it's a little bit strange, and also having to switch enemies, tab targeting, etc. seems to not work as great as World of Warcraft, where I seem like sometimes my character just stops doing things because all of a sudden, tab target just went out of range or something like that. So combat is a little bit wonky, but it is satisfying to bash people with lightsabers. I mean, how can it not be? So now, as a returning player, I didn't know about this until recently, but they added player housing, so you can actually get player housing in multiple planets in the game, which is pretty cool. You can buy a house. It's pretty cheap to buy it in the beginning, so it's not too expensive, and I think you can access it early. Not sure exactly what level you're allowed to buy your house, but I was around level 50 when I was able to get it. And leveling is very easy in this game. You get a lot of XP even if you're not a subscriber. You do get reduced XP if you are not a subscriber, but it's not too bad. And then of course you have legacy levels, which means the more you play a character, the more things you can unlock over time as you increase your legacy level, and kind of like heirlooms and WoW, you get XP increases. So with player housing, you're able to build up your house. You're able to buy certain corridors of the house. So right here, I didn't unlock the entire house, so it does cost quite a bit of money to unlock other parts of the house. But you're able to place all different kinds of decorations, objects, even places you can loot. So right here, we have characters. You can place your companions if you want, or you can place something that you can resource gather. Kind of like WildStar. I missed the WildStar housing. It was so much fun. But with WildStar was like the first MMO with decent housing, and I think this Star Wars one gets it pretty cool too, because you just have so much room. You can there's so many customizations. You can have a lot of fun with this. And you also get bonuses for making sure your strongholds, that's what the housing is called, making sure your strongholds are all up to date and nice and fancy. So it's a pretty fun system, a lot of customization. You can also make it public, I think, so you can have anybody enter your stronghold, or you can have guildies over, and there should be a guild stronghold if I remember correctly. So a lot of customization options. You'll probably never get bored if you're into housing stuff. And there is no limit. You can have there's no limit as far as Final Fantasy XIV, as in Final Fantasy XIV requires only a certain amount of players can have a house. In this game, anybody can have a house, so there's no restrictions on that. I always found that weird in Final Fantasy XIV. I wonder if they got rid of that or not. But otherwise, a lot of fun things you can do here. Eventually in the story, you'll be getting your own ship, which you can talk to your companions. There's companion story in it. You can access the world map and fly all over the place to different planets. But they also added space missions, or not added, it was actually in the beginning of the game. Space missions, which is like it's kind of like a Star Fox on the rails kind of thing, which is a pretty fun thing to do, like if you want to change the pace from the usual MMO. So you get to upgrade your ship, and then you do the space missions, etc. Then there's also PvP, so I'm going to take the time to talk about PvP. I'm not really going to talk much about it. But basically, there's two types of PvP. You got your regular PvP, where you use your character, and then you fight like Hutball, where you're basically doing capture the flag. Or there's another one where you got to defend the base, kind of like a domination Call of Duty type thing. Then you also have ship battles, which I think was introduced a few years ago. So this wasn't in the main game, but basically, I don't know how to describe it. Like, I guess it's like kind of open. It's like open space battles. It's not on the rails, so you actually have to turn your ship around and go left, right, etc. Defend bases, shoot down other enemy ships. It's a lot of fun, and definitely a huge change of pace from the regular MMO scheme, because you're not expecting to play a flying simulator in your MMO all of a sudden. So for those who are into that, it's definitely a fun thing to check out. Now, the major con of this game is the free-to-play system. So in this game, it uses the cartel market, where you buy coins for real-life money to unlock things like costumes, lightsaber colors, and stuff like that. But the biggest issue is they put basic game functions as unlocks, meaning action bars cost extra, bank space costs extra, auction house, the auction house, galactic trade market, basically the way to sell things to other players, the amount of slots you can use, also under a paywall. There's so many things under a paywall. The XP is reduced. There's certain things you can't unlock even with just in-game currency. Some of these things you can unlock with in-game currency, but a lot of it is basically real money or subscribe. So there's a system of 3 different types of subscribers in this game. So there are 3 different things. I'm going to link basically a good article on Reddit showing the differences between them. But there's free-to-play player, which basically has a ton of restrictions, makes the game pretty annoying. But technically, you can play through the entire story of each class of your class, and get the full enjoyment out of the story. Preferred status is if you buy something on the cartel market. I think you need to buy at least a $5 amount of coins. The $2.49 coin option does not give you preferred status, apparently. Or you can just subscribe to the game and you'll automatically get preferred status. So preferred status is basically like an upgraded free-to-play account. So you can play for free. You get some of the benefits of being a subscriber, but you're not actually a subscriber. If you enjoyed a game past level 10, I would definitely suggest either subscribing or at least putting $5 on the cartel market just so you can remove a lot of the stupid restrictions of free-to-play. As a subscriber, you'll basically get access to almost everything except for things you do have to buy with cartel coins, which is usually cosmetics, and you get increased like credits and XP and stuff like that. So of course, subscribing costs $15 a month, and you can do, you can do that on Steam now. So if you have Steam credit, I think you can use your Steam wallet on that. But otherwise, if you don't subscribe, definitely try to be a preferred player because free-to-play is just a total pain. Also, free-to-play players have free access to, according to Reddit, 2 expansions for free, 2 or 3 expansions for free. To get the latest expansion, all you have to do is subscribe. You don't have to pay for the newest expansion. I mean, technically you got to subscribe, but you don't have to pay any extra for the newest expansion. And you should be able to keep these expansions for as long as, even if you unsubscribe, you should be able to keep the expansion forever. So, those are the things about Star Wars The Old Republic. Of course, there's a lot more to it, but this is more of a basic guide. Right now, I'm enjoying it. Of course, I might want to subscribe because the credit cap is killing me. 1 million credits is not enough, considering a lot of stuff is super expensive. But we'll have to see what happens. Right now, I'm just enjoying the story and leveling up my character. Right now, I'm at about level 64, which is actually quite high for someone who just came back. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments if you enjoyed this MMO, if you're going to try it out. And I hope this video helped you out. So feel free to hit the like button if it helped you out. And I'll see you guys next time.